Favorite Minnesota memory? Wow. That's actually pretty tough to say. We've had a lot of really good times. Okay, I think one of my favorite Minnesota memories is last time, or second to last time we were here with Imagine Dragons. We were over by the arena. I don't know what part of town. I guess it's just downtown. And we wandered and found this like Irish bar, a bunch of us, and just like sat and had like very deep life conversations and like talked about all this like crazy history of everybody's lives, like different people from their touring party, not even anyone in the band, just like crew. And it was like a really beautiful night. And we've had a million great nights in Minneapolis. Clubs, definitely. I think I really like the energy of that interaction and that kind of like physical proximity. I mean, arenas are cool, but it's kind of sterile, and you feel very, very far away from people. And it's kind of lonely. Like a club show is just like, okay, I'm with my friends. This is good. Oh, best way to make new friends. Be honest and vulnerable. Let people know that you want to be their friend. I think an interesting thing about being an adult is that outside of your work environment, there aren't like institutions that facilitate friendship. So sometimes like I've had to do this a few times where I like meet a girl and I'm like, hey, can we be friends? Can we like go out and get coffee and like become friends? And I think just letting people know that, don't be scared. Don't be shy. I was pretty shocked to work with Tom Morello, to be honest with you. Just because he's, that's like music that was sort of canonical for me as like a young person growing up. And then his just like humility and just being so down to earth and cool. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy experience. Ooh, okay. People with a bad vibe. Don't hang out with them. Get them out of your life. Don't be like mean to them because that's never good. Yeah, I think a mixture of kill them with kindness to the point where you can extricate yourself from the situation. Ooh, okay. So the Art for Bad Vibes has a very cool story that actually is connected to my drummer, Will, who I'm looking at. He's waving. Which is, there's a tattoo artist based in Berlin named Rosita, who Will had found on the internet and found on Instagram and like been DMing with about maybe getting a tattoo. And then I was kind of jumping on the bandwagon, and then they had a family emergency and it didn't end up working out. But the art, I absolutely love their style and kind of perspective on things. So I reached out, hit them up. I guess I emailed them and was just like, hey, I'm a musician and we kind of talked before and I'm putting out like a project, and would you be down to work on illustrations? And they had never done anything like that, just always tattooed. It's ended up being this huge, bigger thing that I can explain at greater length another time, but it's been awesome. So the charities for all the underplays, we really got referrals from and recommendations from people that we know in each of those cities. So I have a couple of guys I know from way back who worked at Copycats who are making CDs for us and vinyl. And so I hit them up to ask, do they know some good organizations doing good work here? And that's been the case in every city, which has been, my sister's kind of taught me a lot about that in terms of like, local organizations really being like the linchpin for a lot of change. The big national organizations, of course, get tons of money, but it's often like the community-based organizations that sometimes get overlooked, but really like do the important work. So the show last night benefited Tubman here. I'm going to remain coy on that, but Bishop's one of my favorite people. And I have to say, speaking of friends, we kind of had like that friendship moment where we were both like, do you want to be friends? And we're neighbors. We live really close to each other. And it's really nice because she's super talented. It's nice to have another friend in this alternative rock world. Okay, well, I said this last night on stage. This isn't mashed potatoes, but honestly, I think I had the best potato salad of my life here in St. Paul yesterday, which was at Cecil's. It was so good. Have you been to that place? Have you had the potato salad? It's so good. Wow. Okay. Album titles have all just kind of like come to me at some point during the process. I think for the past couple of things, they've happened early on, sort of before all of the music has taken shape, and I think end up kind of informing it. But yeah, it's like I'll wake up and sort of just have like the inspiration for it. I think sometimes when it's sort of like a band name. I think when you overthink a band name or a title, it's bad. It's not a good one. So you just got to go with your gut. Oh my God. I think I have an issue with spatial relations. I know I'm not an idiot per se, but I think that there are parts of my brain that like where I can actually feel the like dendrites of my brain not communicating with other parts of my brain. And yes, spatial relations is one. So I think I'm a very bad judge of like balance and physics in a natural way. When you said, what's the difference? I was thinking, what's the difference between me and you, me and you, me and you? Yeah, that's my mic drop moment. I do love that song. I think the main difference between being independent and on Dan's label and on Interscope is really just that I have more resources and more support, honestly. Like all the kind of creative freedom and all that stuff has really been maintained for me, which I know from my previous situation is not always the case, and I feel very lucky. So it's like I just have like more help, which I'm very grateful for. In general, I believe the king of all flavors and the king of all fruit, or the queen of all fruit, is the raspberry. I think I just like to me, like I'm like, if I get rich ever, I'm just gonna eat so many raspberries. Like that's going to be the thing that I do. I'm not going to get a big house. I'm just going to eat raspberries every day, like a $5 pint of raspberries. Oh, okay. Well, one of the things that I made with Zach from Fiddler is on their record. It's called Called You Twice. So you can hear that currently on everywhere in the whole world. It's like a duet, which was very, very fun to make. The other things we've worked on are kind of in, states of, they're in the cloud of our minds. I think a big moment for me was selling out the Fillmore in San Francisco, because that was a venue like I grew up sort of in my teenage years going to, and it's very iconic. It's like First Ave here. It's like that moment. And I was like, okay, I did that. I could like die happy, I mean, I hope I die happy for, for other reasons, not just for like, I don't really use my schooling in a tangible sense in what I do, but I think in an intangible way I do, in that I really learned how to be like curious, how to work hard, and how to kind of both question and analyze things. And I think from a songwriting perspective, it's helpful to have that kind of like social science background. And I also think, honestly, it helps give me a good perspective on not taking myself too seriously, because I realize there really are, I mean, music is important and wonderful, and all societies have it and need it, but there are many bigger things happening in the world right now. So it's nice to have that like healthy dose of perspective.